What's going on, everyone? Alliance Orc here, and welcome back to another raid boss guide. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Loom'ithar on Heroic. To say that this boss has completely changed compared to normal is an understatement. This fight is actually insane. So let's not waste any time and hop on right into it. If you guys want an in-depth look at all the normal mode mechanics, feel free to check out our normal mode guide. And with that being said, let's hop right into the video. So the first thing I'm sure you guys probably noticed changed is the boss does his layer weaving immediately on the pool. This layer weaving cannot be destroyed unless the piercing strands, which is the tank taunt-off, hits one of the orbs. So with that being said, the first part of this phase is heavily tank dependent, as if the tank does not hit the infused strands, then essentially you will wipe very quickly. Speaking of wiping very quickly, the tank taunt-off has gotten substantially faster compared to normal mode. Like, the boss basically does the piercing strands ability back to back almost, meaning if you're not fast enough on the taunt-off, the tank will probably end up dying. But what I found personally through tanking is always have your camera set up to where you can see what's going on behind you. That way you can always make sure you're positioned in a way that you'll always hit the infused angle. As you see, I'm kind of doing like an overhead borderline rear view camera angle, because I don't really care what the boss is doing. The boss doesn't move, but making sure that I am hitting those infused tangles is the most important job a tank can have in this fight. But aside from that, nothing else too much changes, at least for phase 1. It's just a matter of making sure that your tanks taunt off very quickly, and that the tangled weaves are getting hit. Now, I will say right now, I was not able to procure a kill on this boss. But whenever phase 2 starts, it is again the point in the fight where you are going to want to bloodlust. As again, in phase 2, it is a fight to the finish as the room slowly becomes filled with the arcane ooze and spider webs. However, one big difference in phase 2 is the writhing weave mechanic does 350% more damage if you get hit by it twice, meaning that since writhing weave is a more or less a soak mechanic, then you will want to basically split your raid into 2 groups, so that way people don't end up dying by soaking writhing weave more than once. But aside from that, that's basically it for this fight. Like I said, first phase is just incredibly tank dependent, and then the second phase becomes incredibly healer dependent, as you're going to have just a lot of AoE damage going out. But with that being said, I'll go ahead and get out of here, and you guys enjoy the rest of the fight.